Obviously, Henry is a lovely guy. He is such a leader on set. He comes prepared. He has a good spirit. People want to work with him. And on all television sets, it's really, the attitude comes from the top down. The greatest thing about Henry, though, is his passion for this franchise. To work with someone who loves the material as much as you do, and who wants to make sure that we're giving the fans the best, it truly is a dream come true.
Welp, season 3 of The Witcher is nearly upon us. Things are truly starting to heat up. We're seeing full-on damage control from the Witcher Netflix crew as they are trying to, stop people from abandoning this show once Henry Cavill fully on departs after these final episodes air in July. That is a big problem that Netflix is going to be running into. We're seeing multiple interviews we're going to be discussing today from Lauren Hissrich and her team, in which they make explanations for why they're continuing the show. They mention at one point how they had an opportunity to just end it, which they probably should have. And they also talk about, again, sticking to the books. But one's big issue? There's a major revelation with a certain character within season 3 and another character that makes absolutely no sense because, again, the show has no care, no want to follow Andrei Sapkowski's vision. Despite us having interviews like the one I just shared, in which 3 years ago on the press tour for season 1, when things were very positive, there was a sense of optimism in regards to the show, she made that commitment. She said Henry Cavill and her shared it, but it seems like only Cavill truly cared about doing all of this justice. And now Cavill is no longer going to be a part of Witcher, and Lauren Hissrich remains. But right now, remember, we still have that petition with over 300,000 signatures. A lot of people want her fired. They want the writing team completely gone, and they want Henry Cavill to have creative input with this show. But obviously, that seems like that road has sailed a long time ago, unfortunately, because it seems like things truly soured around season 2, and then there's been a bunch of leaks that indicate, yeah, these writers just do not care about the books at all, and they just want to inject it with their own opinions, and it's sad. It really is sad. But The Witcher Season 3 marketing tour began with the official teaser a couple of weeks ago, has around 3 million views on YouTube, and it's getting hit hard. Over 325,000 dislikes to only 70,000 likes. That's horrible. And even the trailer alone is kind of disappointing. You don't really see much within this. You see it's just random action. Doesn't really give a sense of the plot. You do see, I think at one point, the wild hunt being hinted at here. I don't know if I can bring it up here in the moment, but yeah, you see Ciri being chased by the wild hunt. So that's a big thing in the books. That's a big thing that's going to be happening here. So that's kind of exciting. And that's the way that a lot of people are treating this final season as. It's a final send-off for Henry Cavill, final season of the show, no reason to watch beyond that. You can look to the comment section as evidence of that. Respect your actors, respect the source material, respect your audience. Thank you, Henry. You spoke for us all. No one could have played Geralt better. Thanks for this, Henry. You'll be missed. Henry is not a hero that we deserve, but the one that we needed. Respect your actors. And it goes on and on. This is the big one I've been seeing all over social media, not just YouTube, but last season of The Witcher. I've never been this sad about a series before. Thanks, Henry, for being Geralt for us all. And the comments go on and on. This perspective is shared. Like, even on Reddit, we have people sharing the marketing material, but comment section is just brutal right now. It really is. And this is the big thing that really ruined season 2. It's the fact that Yen character assassination that the writers did to her, and the way that they're going to repair it during season 3 is just laughable. Again, if you have not watched my last video on it, I highly recommend it. It seems like they're going to send some letters to each other. That's about it. And within one episode, they're going to try to fucking repair how horribly they wrote all of that. It's astonishing that they are getting away with this, and there is no repercussions for how badly that they've handled all of this. But yeah, The Witcher, Reddit has, the world if HBO Max acquired The Witcher instead of Netflix. HBO does have a much better quality than Netflix, at least right now, most of the time. Going to avoid season 3 like the plague, time of contempt, the terrible writers of the Netflix show about to butcher it. You know it's going to happen. You know it. I mean, again, guys, remember, look at this. This was all of the things that they changed from the books for just during season 2. This is horrible. This is unacceptable, especially when you spent months upon months during the press tour of season 1 and even season 2 saying that, no, we're being authentic to Andrei Sapkowski's visions. And now we're learning there was a huge but attached to that. We have other ones. Again, this is bringing up the history of Lauren Hisrich. Everything will be organically derived from the books, such as Volith Mare, that made-up villain, and the Instagram post that you had to make, the excuse. Remember that one? Yeah, as we built into later episodes, we realized that we didn't have any true villains over the season. It's too early to reveal the actual big bads of the books, blah, 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 blah. So we thought, what if the big bad of the season is the character who brings all three of our lead stories together, Yeah, such as having Yen try to kill Siri with that big bad villain. That just horrible, horrible. And we have people making fun of some of the outfits choices. This whole production is an absolute mess. That's the best way to put it. And hey, after The Witcher Season 2 and The Witcher Blood Origin, that horrible spinoff, we're getting more Witcher, it looks. The Witcher spinoff creates uproar among fans of another Netflix fantasy series, frantically circling cancellation. Yeah, there's a lot of other Netflix shows that people would like to see some money invested into rather than these horrible Witcher shows. But yeah, we're getting a Rat spin-off show because why not? People are watching it, so I guess Netflix wants to continue to invest money into it, even though they're getting like 10% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Jesus. They tapped a Shadow and Bone director they're preparing to film, so that'll be probably something we're talking about next year, and let's just hope it's not as disastrous as Blood Origin, which was, again, another show that truly ruined the lore of Andrzej Sapkowski's books. But yeah, the reaction to that spinoff was, as you expect, please don't. The show's about to tank and they're making a spinoff, smart. I can already see the headlines canceled after only one season. Nobody asked for this shit, and nobody asked for it. I think a lot of people really want this show to wrap it up, but they're going to continue to butcher the Witcher legacy, unfortunately. It is worth mentioning that the writer's strike is currently ongoing, and that does play a huge factor into the Witcher Netflix series, especially Season 4 and Season 5, because originally it was supposed to be filmed back-to-back. I think it was a way that Netflix, look, if Season 4 is not well received, we'll have one more season and then that's it. But yeah, right now it looks like that's Season 5. Who knows if we actually ever see that happen, because that writer's strike is continuing on. It looks like it could be going for a while. And yes, the Witcher writers are on strike. Toss a coin to your Witcher, or writer, it says, Writers Guild strike, and this is just one writer from the Witcher show, but they're all on it. And yeah, as Redanian intelligence reports, the original plan was to have these seasons filmed back-to-back, but that obviously is no longer probably going to be the case, especially if this writer's strike continues, and it doesn't look like there's any end in sight. Now, I mentioned this in the beginning of this video, we are seeing more interviews about this upcoming season. This was a big one from Entertainment Weekly. The Witcher Season 3 is when everything changes in the series. Yeah, they gotta hype it up as much as they can, but showrunner Lauren Hisrich tells EW she received a lot of feedback from viewers about Yennefer's axe last season. You know, the character assassination, guys. Kind of a big thing. How could you do that to these characters? They'll never be able to forgive her. Well, that just becomes a story problem for us. You know what that story problem is? One or two fucking episodes in which they share some letters and then they kissy kiss, and that's that. Because they're horrible writers, and that's what happens with productions like this. They have to write themselves out of a mess that they fucking created. Ooh, I gotta watch the language. How do two characters forgive each other? Her mind immediately went to Beltane, a festival during which both Yen and Ciri were born. Viewers will see the Enchantress' romantic reconnections with Geralt play out here, Hisrich teases. The Yen actress also makes note of a familiar black dress that Yen is wearing in this moment, the same garb she wore during the character's first meeting with the White Wolf. She wouldn't have put that on for no reason. Blah, 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 blah. You get the sense. There's going to be lovemaking, they'll all be happy, and then they'll move on to the bigger events of Season 3, because, again, they have to repair the mess that they created. It is character moments like this that made Hisrich eager to dive into The Witcher Season 3, which is now tackling material from her favorite of author Sapkowski's Witcher books, Time of Contempt, which right now everybody is truly fearing of how this is all going to turn out. And it continues later on. The biggest change, though, is that Season 3 is now Cavill's final season playing Geralt. Obviously, Liam Hemsworth will take on the role of Season 4. All we knew were the feelings that we have when any season comes to an end. It is full of pride and love and accomplishment for what we've done, the Yen actress says. So we stayed in that moment rather than anything else. The news was, yeah, it's hard to take because he's a crucial part of the show and we all adore him, so we're going to miss him a lot. I wish him all the best. Then these interviews do continue. We got a couple more of them, and it gets a lot more in-depth, especially in regards to Cavill's departure. We had the choice to end The Witcher. Showrunner explains Henry Cavill's exit. This was an interview with Total Film magazine. She offered elaboration on Cavill's exit. She said it was time for him in his life to move on. Yeah, he realized, let's go work on some actual stuff that can be authentic to the source material, such as Warhammer 40k, in which it seems like he has a major creative role within that production. I think we've all been mourning this in our own way. We had the choice to have Geralt exit and to end the show, but that's not something that we're willing to do, of course, because they want that Netflix paycheck to continue to come in. There's just too many stories left to tell. Lauren, I don't think anybody believes that. If we replace Geralt with another Witcher, we'd be going fully away from the books. Well, you've already gone there already, but sure. And I don't think that's what anyone wanted either. She continues, we're all excited about Liam coming in. He's got enormous shoes to fill, but also has a lot of energy and a lot of excitement for it. It's obviously a brand new chapter for us, and there's a lot of things involved, but at the end of the day, we love what we're doing, and we're going to keep going. And that's her stance on the show right now. But you know, one thing that's also changing is the fact that this show is going to continue to go away from the lore. And yes, Jaskier ends up being bi during season 3. I don't think that's too surprising with how everything's been going. But the one big surprise is that he's going to be having a romance with Radovid, Prince Radovid of Redania. That is... doesn't make any fucking sense. Not something in the books, but it also doesn't make any sense with Radovid as a character. But sure, why not, Netflix? Why not? This is just... they do this with all their shows, so no surprise that they're going to be butchering the lore just to inject some of their own opinions, and also basically probably because of some of the fandom and some of the requests. That has to be. Yeah, according to, let's see some of the reactions to this. My cat could write a better script or by walking across the keyboard. What my cat leaves in the letter is actually a better script than this. It's true. It is. It's so sad. It's going to be Jaskier and Yen, and together they will plot and pay a poor peasant boy to stab Geralt with a pitchfork so the two of them can live happily ever after. Oh, and Ciri has actually been Radovid all along. Don't ask how. That'll probably... Yep. That's how it all's going to come together. Yeah. The reactions are, Radovid should be in his teens, close in age to Ciri, and Jaskier's around 40. What? Yeah, but they don't care about the book. So in the series, Radovid is a grown man. They don't, guys. I mean, one big indicator early on was that they didn't care about the show is the fact that they couldn't hire any Polish actors. And then Lauren Hisrich and her team made a bunch of excuses for why not. It's just been ridiculous since the beginning. I may have read the books wrong, but I don't remember Jaskier being attracted to men at any point. And Radovid, really, it doesn't even matter at this point. It's the best way to think about this show is just to laugh at all of this madness, and then just remember that the one key player in all of this, Henry Cavill, is leaving for a reason. He won't say it, but it's very obvious based on his differences that he's had with Lauren Hisrich that have been publicly made, and also the certain leaks that we've heard about the show. We did see one other big interview. This was from Tudum. This is like Netflix's own marketing thing for Witcher. When Cavill speaks about his final season on the series, it's not a dragon lair that he invokes, it's a lion den. So now there is a real threat, he says, about, Ciri and her life being in peril. It's genuine, it's no longer theoretical, it's practical, and it's very, very dangerous. They are walking into the lion's den everywhere they go. So, there is going to be interest to watch this final season, but afterwards, that's the big question mark, and I don't think we're going to see many people caring. In so many ways, Season 3 is the culmination of what we've been building towards all along, Hisrich tells Tudum. We get to see everything on the continent change, which is super exciting. She continues, we get some more information from Beatty, who plays Jaskier. War has been threatened for so long. Finally, we're like, oh god, it's here. The epicness, the stakes of the continent, and the macro sense is huge, but the macro stakes are even bigger. In a world as brutal as the continent, change rarely comes without violence, and that violence is now at the protagonist's door as Amir, who is building his empire. Elves are fighting for their freedom, mages are at each other's throats, and everyone is coming after Ciri, the girl with the elder blood. How does Geralt feel all about this? Geralt has been very nonchalant about the threats of war and famine and the end times, Cavill says. He's like, look, I've been here, done that, it's not the end times, it's just going to be another fight. And then it continues. A big part of her journey is trusting that they love her and trusting that they care for her. And here we get into the Yen Ciri nonsense from Season 2 once again. This might not be the easiest thing for Ciri to do with Yennefer, who almost sacrificed Ciri due to an ancient evil at the end of Season 2. Volithmere, Jesus. People don't always make the right choices, you don't say, such as the Netflix writers, but ultimately I think everyone knows Yen's good at the core. They have such similarities that I think Ciri can't help but latch onto Yennefer. Also, through Yennefer teaching Ciri, they do begin to build that trust up. You know, that would work if you spent like a season or two doing that, not an episode or two, after, you know, her trying to kill Ciri, but sure. Shalatra, the Yen actress, again agrees that Yen has got a lot of work to do, but she says, I believe in her. What about Geralt? Well, Hisrich says that the writer's room considered starting the season off with a big fat kiss between Geralt and Yen. She says that it ultimately felt inauthentic. We talked about what has to happen for Geralt to trust Yen again, and this is what they came up with. They got to come together as partners, since it's not just about them anymore. It's become more than romance. It's all about them becoming soulmates. Oh, guys. How did they hire these CW writers for such an iconic franchise? Oh my gosh. Hisrich says the core theme for Season 3 is family is worth fighting for. So yeah, that is The Witcher Season 3. That is what's coming soon enough, and I don't think there is any excitement for any of this, and we'll see. I think a lot of people are going to be interested just to tune in for Henry Cavill playing Geralt of Rivia one more time. Then after that, with Season 4, there's no reason at all to jump into this show. Anyway, what do you make of Netflix's Witcher Season 3 so far? The press tour has only just began. I am very curious to see if we are going to have Henry Cavill at all on this press tour. It seems like we've had a couple of interviews, but we haven't seen him actually sit down for a face-to-face interview with anybody and have that big question thrown in his face. Are you leaving the show because you're unhappy with the state of the production? A question that I don't think he's going to, you know, honestly say, yeah, I don't like the show. But I'm still very interested to see if he actually would do it, but I do think Netflix is probably going to do their best to shield him away from that, so I would not be surprised to see him not really involved in the press of this upcoming season, which so far it's kind of been the case. But what do you make of all of this? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.